I wasn't recording that.
Oh, Diggle Dogs.
That's not a thing that anyone says.
Is that a phrase?
I mean, it is now. I'm making it happen. Like fetch.
When would you use dingle dongs? Was that what it was?
Dingle Dogs. Like snow dogs, but for dingles.
I don't want to be a part of that.
When are we going to do snow dogs on this podcast?
Never. Quit trying to make Fletch happen, Andy.
Ooh.
See what I did there? I turned a movie thing into a movie thing.
Mm-hmm.
What's Fletch?
Chevy Chase is a detective, and that's the end of Fletch.
Wow.
He detectivizes things.
Yep.
Ooh.
He's like, there's a thing that I need to solve. Yo, you got a problem.
Yo, I'll
solve
Check
it.
out the hook while the DJ
While
revolves
the Fletch man solves it.
You said solve twice.
Oh, boy.
Well, solve rhymes with solve. That's why I said it twice.
Oh.
It's like when Kid Rock rhymes.
Nope.
My name is Bradley Jones,
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
I'm Andy Hubert.
and this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about Gremlins.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
We're gonna sing that song. Do 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 do. That's mostly what I remember about this movie.
It's the song.
You don't remember
much.
the opening where the old man from the China shop sells the mogwai to
Yes,
whoever
I do remember
the
that.
dad
Yeah.
in the coat?
Is it Pat Morita?
Nope.
It isn't.
No.
It's just another Chinese guy.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it is.
It's not the
Or
one
Japanese guy.
It's not the one Chinese guy in Hollywood in the 80s, no.
Yeah, I'm sure
more
there
than
was
just
like
the
one or two only.
So it's a narration opening with the dad talking about the mogwai. It's very mysterious and creepy. And there's he goes through like a smoke-filled alley. And he's looking for a Christmas present for his son.
Does he end up in Chinatown?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's into like interesting objects.
So he wants to go all out for Christmas.
Yeah, he wants to find a unique gift for his son. A unique Christmas gift.
He didn't just need like underwear and socks this year?
No.
I mean, that was last year.
Yeah, he soiled his underwear and socks last year, so he doesn't need them this
He
year.
re-gifted them.
He regifted soiled underwear to his own son. That's got to be like the most disgusting thing we've said on the podcast. So he's looking around the china shop and he hears this whistling noise. And the mogwai is singing a song. It's something like doo 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 doo. Something like that. I can't whistle, but
That was
it's not
beautiful,
whistling
Brad.
either.
Yeah, there wasn't a whistle at all.
He's humming more than whistling, but he's making a noise, kind of like a bird chirp. Like, do birds whistle or do they chirp, or what kind of?
They do both.
Yeah. I mean, it can be described as either of those things.
Well, it's one of those things that the mogwai is doing,
Okay.
and the old man refuses to sell it to him.
Yeah.
He says it's too much,
Too dangerous.
too dangerous. But
Because he's an American. He doesn't know he doesn't know the ways of the Mogwai.
he doesn't respect, the
He's
tradition.
like, look, there's a lot of steps involved in adopting a mogwai. We got to come to a home visit. We got to give the trial period so we make sure it fits in your home.
Yep. Meet in a safe place.
You know, you can't just go jump right into mogwai ownership.
That's a great point. Is this animal like labeled by? How did it get into get through customs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is
Can I tangent for just a moment?
I think it's gonna be quite the
Okay,
we're
so
gonna be tanging a
I
lot.
just came back from DC, and this is related to how did it get through customs. So I just came back around New Year's, and I think like security is more stepped up around this time, and specifically since we were coming or going to DC and coming back from DC.
Yeah, and everyone's looking for a Mogwai. It's a big
Everyone's
Mogwai
looking for a
season.
Mogwai,
It's
so
the time of year. It's
really-
the Mogwai time of year.
But I was going through the security checkpoint, and I brought Gold Bond, which is something you should not bring unless you have extra
powder,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so they want to test it and see if it's cocaine. But the guy behind me brought an electric saw with blades, and he was trying to get through security, and they were just like, no, you can't bring these things.
Why is an
You
electric
can't
saw
have
not
this
appropriate?
here.
So would they be able to just like put the Mogwai in the suitcase and just be like,
I guess the 80s, yeah. Maybe it was more...
Maybe the Mogwai's
more
not
things.
even a Chinese thing, but it just happens that the Chinese guy owned it. Maybe it's an American creature. You don't even know.
Are we reappropriating the Mogwai now? Is that what we're
Let's
doing?
see what we're
if it was
nature's
American, if it was American creature though, wouldn't we see more of it?
I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of Bigfoots.
They're big feet, Andy.
Oh,
They're big feet.
I thought it was a
There's
monster
more than
truck.
one. Oh, you're right. Wait, is there a photo of a Bigfoot driving a Bigfoot? There's got to be,
Ooh,
right?
there's gotta be.
First,
Let me Google it.
First Google image. So did you get the gold bond through, or?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The
I
I
mean,
needed that resolution.
yeah. My grandma once tried to get or like some sort of lotion through customs, and it like held us up for like an hour of them like testing the lotion. You just can't bring anything liquid or powdery.
Yeah, I brought
It's gotta be
like
under like 3 ounces. Or
I
something.
brought like moose
Yeah, it was-
and I
yeah.
brought Gold Bond, and they looked at both of them and they were like, "Well, you definitely can't have this moose."
They're looking at the stuff and they're looking at you like this guy.
You think you can pull moose off? Who do you think you are?
Look,
Your
this-
hair doesn't even look that good.
This clearly isn't yours because you are not using it because that hair is terrible.
So I that was just a wash with the moose, but the Gold Bond they checked it. It just took like maybe an extra 3 minutes. Yeah, back to Gremlins.
The
Oh yeah,
owner-
is that what we're doing?
The owner of the Mogwai refused to sell it, but I forget his name. His last name is Peltzer for sure. But he keeps on trying like offering more and more money for the Mogwai, and the owner's son, I think, is near
Yeah.
him.
He's like,
I don't know if it's son. That's why I was confused. It might just be like a little kid that he hired.
wow,
to
Brad,
work
just
at his
because
shop.
it's Chinatown, they can skirt child labor laws? Gosh.
Maybe.
Making so many assumptions today.
But there's a moment where they're talking about how much money, and the little kid's eyes light up with how much money he's offering to buy this Mogwai for.
Yeah.
So once the owner leaves, the kid meets him in the back and trades the Mogwai for some cash, and he tells him,
Why does the owner leave if the guy's still in the store? You know, I feel like if someone's trying to buy something from you, like
Well, he's like close up shop for the
step
day.
one is to like keep an eyeball on them until they leave.
well, he tells them to meet around in the alley. He says, come back around.
okay.
I'll hook you up.
That makes
and the
more
little kid,
sense.
The little kid steals the Mogwai out of the store.
Nice.
And he tells him the 3 rules.
And they are,
Don't get it wet.
yeah,
Don't feed it after midnight.
yeah.
And party. What was the third one?
I don't actually remember.
I thought there were only 2
Those are the only
rules.
2 I
No,
remember.
there's 3. Keep it away from sunlight.
Keep it away from sunlight.
Like-
Or
I
any
remember
light,
that.
really. Keep it away from any light.
Any light
Ah.
whatsoever, like a lamp.
Yep, lamp would hurt it.
What about
Flashlights
what
hurt
about a
us.
different lamp?
What do you... What?
Like
I know-
he's got a lamp at his house.
Yeah,
Would that be
anything,
okay?
anything that emits light. I don't know how black light works in the Mogwai. Maybe that would be okay.
So like if it sees light, does it turn into a gremlin?
No, it kills it.
Oh,
Just
don't do that.
Straight up kills it. Wow.
Well, with long exposure. Like, it just hurts it for...
Is it like a vampire?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of vampire-y.
Yeah, pretty much vampire-y. It just has to be a rule. There has to be a solution to kill these things at the end of the movie.
That's
so I think
why
that's
that
why
rule
that's actually
exists.
warned in there.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Because otherwise, these things are pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they get going.
Yeah, they go crazy.
They would rule the world so fast.
Yeah.
If not for the 3rd rule.
What? Like it's
Cut to
Christmas?
Kingston Falls, Christmas time.
Yeah.
There's
Do
a
it.
mean old lady with a dog. No, she doesn't have a dog. She's just a mean old lady who goes into Billy Peltzer's bank where he's working as a teller. Zach
Is Billy
Peltzer?
Peltzer Zach Galifianakis?
No.
Who's Billy Peltzer? Is that the
That's
dad?
that's the son.
Oh, the son. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's Zach Galligan. I don't know what his name is. That sounds right. But she's really uppity about something. And she cuts like everyone out in line. She like gets to the head of the line and gets right up in Billy's face about something that's going on.
Who does she
That's
think
just
she
the
is?
worst.
I think she's complaining about his dog.
Oh man.
And the dog is at the bank.
Is this the old lady who has the electric
Mrs.
chair that goes up
Deagle.
the stairs?
It is Mrs. Deagle.
Mrs. Deagle.
Interesting.
And the dog is in the bank, and something happens where the dog jumps on Mrs. Deagle, and she starts to freak the f out, and she wants to the dog to be murdered and put down. But Billy's like, no, you're just
a terrible old lady.
You're just a mean old bee, Mrs. Deagle. I'm not gonna
A mean
do
old
that.
bee, Mrs. D.
I wanted to say that so bad.
You gotta beat him to it. So we set this up. Judge Reinhold
Oh,
is in this movie.
laying down the law.
Here comes the judge. He is dating Phoebe Cates at the time. Zach, or let's call him Billy Pretzel. Let's call the character's name because I'm just mixing up his.
Billy Pretzel? Is that what you almost said?
Billy Peltzer. They're at a bar and they're talking about just Christmas time, and Judge Reinhold's flaunting the fact that he's making a ton of cash.
Doing what?
I forget. Wall Street business cash.
Dude doing the Wall Street.
I'm on Wall Street now, guys.
And
making money.
He's kind of a jerkhole to Billy because Billy's still living with his parents, and Judge Reinhold's got Phoebe Cates on the back burner, they're dating and stuff. And Phoebe Cates is really supportive of Billy and wants him to do well. I think they're just good buds. I think she might even work in the bank too.
Okay.
Yeah, they helped out before that. So he goes home. I don't know. Is Corey Feldman in this movie yet? Maybe in a little bit.
Did this movie come out in 84?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's possible.
So I don't know if I think Corey Feldman shows up after he gets the Mogwai. So Billy goes home. It's Christmas time. His dad comes home with the Mogwai. It's wrapped up in this nice little box, and he says it needs to be open right away. They can't wait till Christmas.
Otherwise, it's gonna die.
It's a living, breathing creature.
Rule number 4: don't suffocate it.
There's also the dad is also he's an inventor.
Yeah,
He has a strange orange juice machine that doesn't work. He has a lot of half-cocked Rick Moranis. Honey,
yeah, I
I
was gonna
Shrunk the
say
Kids
exactly.
type
He's
machines.
kind of like a Rick Moranis kind of guy.
So the kitchen is just full with all sorts of weird knickknacks and paddywhacks.
Giving dogs a bone.
I was waiting for that to finish, but it's fine. So they turn off all the lights in the house because right away.
He sounds so disappointed.
Yeah,
He's
it
just
happened
he's
anyway.
like, I thought you guys had this one. And
You look a little sleepy tonight, and I was just it was a little low ball, and no one swung for it. No one swung.
Look,
for
I
it
got the
tonight.
last one with the B and the D. I was giving this one to Andy.
Yeah.
Just tossed
Can't
it
take
up.
them
It was
all.
a pass, but we weren't sure if we
We were
both wanted
bobbling it. We were
Yeah.
bobbling it a little. It's only, what are you gonna do?
So they turn off all the lights in the house. It's doing that humming noise. Billy opens it, and it's little Gizmo.
Oh, little Gizmo.
Little Furby Gizmo.
Mm-hmm.
And he speaks, doesn't he?
He says Mogwai a lot.
Oh.
Like a Pokemon.
Yeah,
I was
he
gonna
might
say
be
like a Furby almost.
He
Yeah.
might. I mean, I think he is the predecessor to all of those things. For
Absolutely.
Sure. The baseline.
I think Furby's directly came from.
Does he pick
The
up
Mogwai.
words?
Somewhat.
Little Mogwai?
He'll sometimes repeat things that Billy says.
Okay, so he's more like a parrot, or is he intelligent enough to understand what he's saying? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so, in a certain way,
Okay.
to an extent, I would say.
Oh.
So they open the thing, and I think there's some bright light that's already on, or he goes to take a picture. The mom tries to go take a photo of the Mogwai, and it freaks the f out.
Is it like the flash?
Yeah,
On the
'cause
picture.
the
Okay.
flash on the frame, and that's when the dad lays down the rules, don't do these things.
He's like, here's the 3 rules the man said to me. Or the kid.
Does lightning strike when he says those rules?
There's no lightning
Aw.
strikes.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah, it's Christmas. It's
Does
just
he?
spooky.
Does he ever write them down, or he just tells them the one time, and he's like, good enough? I feel like if you own a Mogwai, you should put those on some paper and stick them on the fridge or something.
Yeah.
Just
That'd be good advice.
just to have.
Just to be sure.
I mean, because this is the first time that someone in America has probably owned a Mogwai. Possibly.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Are you saying
Who
should
wasn't
do a-
Asian.
We should do a prequel to Gremlins?
Oh,
Let's
man.
do it. Yeah. Let's do it.
Or set in medieval times or something.
Oh, Gremlins in medieval times?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
How hard would it be to get light? Or wait, I don't know. We have to go somewhere where it would be hard to get light for it to make sense. I guess I don't know. It's in a cave.
There you go.
This is also half.
It's in a dungeon.
Yeah,
It's in a
oh,
dungeon.
You can
perfect.
still keep with that medieval
Yep,
times.
there you go.
Oh yeah. maybe the Mogwai was Beowulf at some point, and that's the story. The Grendel. The Grendel was the first Mogwai. This is way off on a tangent. I'm grasping at all the straws I could possibly find.
And you're winning on all of those
just to make
accounts.
this happen. Because I'm gonna feel bad when a reboot comes out and it makes me sad. Because I really like Gremlins.
Yeah, you're just waiting
Yeah.
for that. You're like, it's gonna get ruined.
It
at
happens
some
to
point.
everybody's favorite movie, doesn't it? They
yeah.
just remake it, and you're like, oh man, why'd you do that, dog?
Yeah, I heard they were gonna remake Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
And it's
What?
kind
Oh,
of gonna
no.
it's gonna make me really sad.
It
They're
is.
gonna remake The Warriors, and they've been talking about that for a
They
long
don't
time,
need to
too.
remake The
They
Warriors.
don't need to remake any of these movies, but
No,
because
well, and
we
it's like I
them.
feel like so many of them are just like lightning in a bottle kind of things, and it's like, yeah, all right, well, I'm sure they'll make money off it, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people can appreciate them to some degree, but they're all just like kind of cash cows in a way.
yeah,
Yeah, there's nothing that's like made the originals better. I can't think of any sequel that's like, oh yeah, good. They filled up a lot of holes and satisfied me in a lot of ways that the original did. It's like no.
Yeah, and I feel like it would have to have some relevance to like,
you remade it in a weaker way.
yeah, it has to have like some relevance to like
Contem-
present time.
Yeah, contemporary.
Like Big Trouble in Little China doesn't like make sense to have a remake. Maybe like a sequel or something like that, but it literally doesn't make sense to have a remake to that movie.
I don't know. I feel like the rough part is when a remake really tries to redo the original movie, but then like if you have remakes that kind of reimagine it, it makes more sense. Like the new Star Trek was pretty good. I thought the remake of Dawn of the Dead was pretty good
That
because
one-
it
that one
takes
was
it in a
really
very
good.
different direction. But
I think Gremlins
Yeah.
could be a remake, or it could just be like a third Gremlins movie all on its own.
yeah,
Kind of more.
I feel I don't think it needs to even be. I feel like you could just do a new Gremlins movie.
Yeah.
and I mean it could be self-contained. It doesn't need to.
Yeah, I was gonna say more like Ghostbusters, but that's not really the idea that I want to go for.
Right.
I'm trying to make the connection that I think like studios just have way too much creative input to what a reboot is. But like when this movie came out, it was Joe Dante's baby, and like Chris Columbus, I think, wrote it.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know that.
Yes, I think I'm gonna. The bold claim is Steven Spielberg producing it, which he may have, but
Okay.
but I'm not sure. I know they were buds.
Yeah,
Buds,
Chris Columbus, who did like Home Alone, Adventures in Babysitting, and then eventually did Harry Potter.
Yeah, but got to start writing this movie and Goonies.
Didn't
I
he
think
do
were his big
Rent
ones.
too?
Yeah, he did do Rent.
Yeah.
That's Columbus talk with us. Where was I? Okay, so the dad leaves. He's going out of town on some sort of business trip.
Okay.
So that he's like out of the movie pretty much from this point on.
Get out.
Here's the Mogwai. Bye.
See ya, suckers! Because he's going on some sort of
Don't feed after midnight.
invention conferences. Whatever,
have
whatever. Those are words. Yeah, I guess so. Because he shows up later with a phone call. and you
He's going
see
to
a
an
weird thing.
invention convention.
Oh, convention. What's your junction? So Billy and Corey Feldman are hanging out. They're best buds. Because, like,
Just doing their thing.
you could be, like, a grown adult and hang out with a kid in the 80s. It was, like, a fine thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably just hang out with the people that are on your block.
All right.
Yeah.
The dude down the street. And he's, like, crazy fascinated with the Mogwai. And Billy's, like, on his desk doing some paintings or drawings or something like that. He's an artist. He's a
okay.
wannabe.
Is he an artist or an artiste?
He's a wannabe artiste.
Okay.
He becomes an architect, like a blueprint drawer in the second movie. So like his dream got a little
Okay.
fulfilled.
Has some progress.
Yeah. So they're goofing around, and I think Corey Feldman accidentally spills a water, like he has a thing of water for his pens by his desk onto Gizmo, and it is the freakiest thing ever.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Sorry. Who's in that jar?
Nothing, just water.
Why is he making that noise? What is it?
I don't know.
Is it alive?
I don't know.
There's a lot of amazing puppet work.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's several sizes of Gizmo. This is a weird one where like little balls just keep flopping out of his back.
Yep.
And this is where more
Yeah, they're eggs, right?
Yeah, they're little balls of.
I was gonna
of
say they're not
furry
even really
balls.
eggs. They're just like little mogwais suddenly come out in ball form off his back.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And within seconds, they're like fully formed mogwai. And there's
What?
there's slightly different ones. Like they all have kind of different features. There's one in particular that has a white stripe in the middle of its head. To like differentiate from it as a gremlin, they call them stripe.
So are they all mogwais or are they all gremlins?
They're all mogwai.
All
at this
mogwais.
point.
Yep.
So now he has like what, like 5 mogwais?
I think there's like 7.
Oh
five,
my
five-
God.
5 to 7.
Yeah.
And they're all awful. Like they're mean to Gizmo. Like these guys are just like jerky jerks, and like Gizmo's so freaking cute. I mean, you sell toys at Gizmo. That's why he's.
Are they like
amazing.
almost like clones, or would Gizmo be like their mom?
I mean, if
I
we
would
want
say
to talk about the
clones.
real biology of this,
I mean we do, right?
Yeah, I can get into it.
they
for a
can't
little bit.
really be clones if there's one that has like a stripe on his head.
I
though,
know,
right?
I
It's
know.
like,
I
oh,
thought
man.
the same thing.
But it is like asexual reproduction, so.
Yeah, it'd be like slicing up one of the slimes from a Zelda game and it making more slimes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
However that works.
Those dank slimes.
So it's like a worm in a way.
Yeah, if a worm could grow another worm.
Well, like if you cut a worm in half, it just is 2 worms then. Like they both still kind of function.
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
Sort of.
There's nothing really in nature that can describe this and that I can think of.
Okay.
But they're fully formed. There are no eggs, but they do go to a pupa stage, which you think they're in eggs. That's my.
Oh,
you might have said
okay.
that. So
Man, so really don't spill water on this or you can end up with like hundreds of these things.
Oh boy.
Practice safe mogwai ownership, please.
Yeah. That's why that guy didn't want to sell it to him.
So what do mogwai do if it rains and they live in the wild? Like
Maybe they don't
just give
live in the-
birth to hundreds of more mogwais?
Wow.
Probably.
That's a good
They're gonna
question.
destroy their own ecosystem.
Yeah, but as soon as the sun comes up and they're not ready for it, they go poof.
Oh man,
So
brutal.
So it's just
the
like
brutal
it's
life
like
of a mogwai.
Yeah, life and death is like day to day.
It ain't easy.
So
to be
maybe
a
they just
mogwai.
have to live in caves all the time
That could be.
and like hunt at night. So maybe they're nocturnal.
There's a lot of questions that need to be answered. I think we are the people to make that movie. We need a very serious
the
examination
origins of the Mogwai.
Yeah, the origins of the mogwai. That could be the title.
It would be like Quest for Fire, but with Mogwai. It's just literally them hunting. That's
and
it.
then also the fire would hurt them because it's light.
and the movie ends with Gizmo being the last Mogwai or something like that.
Yeah.
That's really cute.
The Last of the Mogwai. That's the name of the movie.
The last of the Mug Weekends.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
I know. I just tried to
You did a
emphasize it.
yeah.
There are a few more scenes here, I think, with Billy connecting with Mr. Futterman. So Billy has a neighbor played by Dick Miller, and Mr. Futterman. He's just like the coolest neighbor guy. He's like an old man who's good at fixing stuff. He's got a whiny wife who's also really nice. They're both like great people, and they're friends with Billy. They're always like everyone in the town really wants Billy to succeed and do well.
Oh,
Like they're like very positive, except for Mrs. Deagle, who's a total B.
God.
Other than him just doing stuff around the town, I think we just got to get to all the Mogwai are in a box. Billy's just hanging out on his bed, eating a big bucket of chicken.
Oh, KFC?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I think it's KFC. This podcast brought to you by Colonel's Original Recipe, Drumstick Chickens. Use
I'm
code
eating it right
Let Me
now.
Remember for free coleslaw at the counter. Checkout.
It's not gonna work.
Well, try it. So the big rule: don't feed them after midnight. Billy double checks his clock. It says like 11:29 or something like that.
Oh my God! Don't press your luck.
Right? What if
You ended up with 7 of them.
What if a Home Alone happened and your clock got unplugged at some point?
So these
point.
these gremlins are like freaking out in the box, like we want this freaking chicken.
Yeah.
Give it up, dog.
They want that recipe too.
Yeah, they do. You're right, they do. So Billy ends up feeding them the chicken. He offers Gizmo some, and Gizmo says, "No, I don't want any."
Gizmo's so responsible.
Because Gizmo knows what the deal is.
Yeah.
Billy goes to bed. He wakes up.
It's because they hoarded that chicken until midnight.
He sleeps in because he looks at his alarm clock. It still says whatever the time was. He finds the plug. The gremlins ate the cord.
Oh
the alarm
no! It
clock.
is a Home Alone situation. Andy called it.
There it is.
So inside of his house are all these weird eggs.
Yes.
They're like gooey and they're undulating, and they're covered in just the worst awful you could think of, and they're all over his house.
Oh boy, we've all been there. Am I right?
You've had some gremlins in your house?
No, just gross eggs all over the place.
Ooh.
So Billy does what you do in a small town: take it to the science professor of the local high school. So he takes one of the eggs.
It's very Stranger Things.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I misplaced this a little bit. He takes a mogwai to the professor earlier in the movie.
Okay.
And the professor feeds it food, and then the professor also gets an egg. That happens.
Did you take it to the professor after midnight?
Well, did the professor want a gremlin to study it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he did it on purpose.
Yeah. And for what I don't know, I don't think he fed it on purpose after midnight, but somehow I don't think Billy explained the rules to the professor.
Oh my God! You gotta explain the rules.
He should have wrote these down.
Wrote them down. Now I gotta say, like, don't feed it after midnight. When does that cut off? Because isn't always technically after midnight?
So if you watch Gremlins
Wow,
2, they argue that exact same question.
they? Okay.
Yeah, like if it's on an airplane and it crosses the date line, like they're all like, and Billy's like, I don't know, I don't have the answers.
That's a good
Oh,
point. You're like,
oh, no.
I don't know. My
Oh,
dad
I don't-
bought this weird thing for my weird guy. I don't know these things.
I didn't write this movie.
But they do bring that up, and it's such
That's funny.
a self-referential.
Oh boy,
That
you're
word
almost,
is
you're almost there.
Referential.
Self-referential point. I still screwed it up, even though you said it, and I just couldn't repeat what you said. I couldn't do what a parent could do.
Referential.
The professor is like snipping the cage because the mogwai grew into an egg inside of its thing also. Boy.
I think let's just go to the gremlins.
Okay, it's about to be Gremlin City in a second.
Yeah.
All right.
The first big Gremlin City moment, inside the high school, the professor is alone. The gremlin is hatched from its egg. It's loose in the high school.
Oh no.
He's looking all over the high school. It's really creepy. Everything's in the shadows.
And this is at night, right? You said this.
He ends up seeing the gremlin underneath the cabinet, and he has a candy bar, and he tries to lure the gremlin out with the candy
No,
bar.
don't feed it again.
In what an anticipation moment, he like slowly puts his hand underneath the table. He's like, and the gremlin starts to eat it at first, and the professor's like, "Yeah, you like that? Oh yeah, go ahead, get that candy bar." Then suddenly, bites his hand, and like the guy freaks out, and the gremlin ends up killing the professor.
Oh man.
Like,
you just ran through.
Off
You like
screen.
bites his hand, kills whatever. You were so detailed, and then you just glossed right over it because.
What happened so quickly? I'll let that actor's performance sell you instead of my
All right.
terrible.
I look forward to it.
narrative after that.
No, I like your.
Are you excited to see this movie, Andy?
I'm getting there. We'll see how we get with the end of this.
I
at
have
the end of
not
this
seen
half.
this movie in way too long.
Oh, I haven't either. I thought I
I'm not
remembered
even-
it pretty well, and then Brad's like going through this, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't think I contributed anything more than the song to this podcast.
this is basically just us watching Brad the whole time, just enjoying his explanation of this movie.
Yeah, you're quite just listening.
Yeah.
To me talk about.
Sometimes
Gremlins,
there are
which is great.
episodes like that.
This is what Brad remembers.
Like,
This is what
Little Rascals was
Yeah.
my episode.
Yeah, everyone gets one, I guess. Billy goes to the school to check on the professor, and he finds his body, and the gremlin's like loose in the school. I think Phoebe Cates might even be there, and they're just trying to figure out where they're worried about him. Because
So, like, while they're at the school, is this when, like, the other eggs hatch back at home?
back at home. And
Oh, my God. That's got to be chaos.
Oh, boy.
And do you know the most frightening Christmas song to me plays while the mom hears a bunch of noises from the attic, and she takes a carving knife and slowly walks up the stairs. Do you remember what song she plays on the record player? It's a Christmas song.
Do not.
Rock Around the Clock?
Do you see what I see?
Oh man.
Do you see what I see? A star, a star.
And she's walking slowly up with the butcher knife.
I want you to keep going.
It's a long scene. I don't think it would do it. And she opens the door, and I'm not sure if she sees them right away or not. But she has a little bit of a tangle with one. She somehow ends up back in the kitchen. Maybe she fights one upstairs. I forget if she does or not, or if she just comes back down. And they're in the kitchen, and they're throwing pans and plates. And
Oh, I do remember this
all
scene.
sorts of just terrifying things at her.
Yes.
And she's like doing the best she can. This mom is pretty BA in this movie.
Yeah.
She takes one of the gremlins, stuffs it inside of a microwave, turns
Oh,
it on,
yeah.
puts one head
Yes.
first into a blender.
Yes.
Yep. She's not messing around. Yeah, she's like, she goes from 0 to let's take care of business.
Yeah. She gets like clawed in the face by Stripe, and like Stripe ends up like getting away right when Billy comes home to see what's up. There was also another scene earlier, right before, I think when they're in the Mogwai stage, they wrap the dog in the Christmas lights outside the house, and it's really, really sad.
Like it's dead or
No,
just wrapped
they
up?
just wrapped it out in the cold.
Oh my god.
Those evil
Jeez.
gremlins.
So wait,
kicked
is
the
this
dog.
still like Christmas Eve?
Mm-hmm. It's still Christmas.
So this all happened in one night?
Probably.
Like he got the gremlin and then he ate KFC.
I bet this movie takes place over 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had to open the
Okay.
Mogwai immediately. They couldn't wait till Christmas.
Yeah, yeah.
So it had
I
to be
wasn't
a
sure
few
if he
days
like got
before.
that like the day before or Christmas Eve.
Fair enough.
There's a scene where Phoebe Cates is in the bar, and for whatever reason, she's serving the gremlins drinks and like satiating their needs. Like she's too afraid of like what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, what
Don't they
else?
like throw glasses at her or something like that from
Yeah.
behind the bar?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
I jumped past the part where they follow Stripe trying to get it. They find its tracks or whatever, and it goes into the local swimming pool.
Oh God! Oh no!
And they find it, and it's just like
Oh my god.
they tangle with Stripe a little bit, but then he ends up falling into the pool,
Ugh.
and they're like the pool starts to turn all sorts of weird neon colors. The Gremlin song starts to play. It starts to bubble
See, that's
over.
like that's got to
Steam
be an
rises
infinite,
out of the pool.
That's gonna be an infinite loop. Like if something falls into if a gremlin or a mogwai falls into water, and like anytime it gets wet, it's producing eggs. Like if it just stays in the water and drowns, it's gonna keep making eggs, and then those eggs will make eggs, and it'll just be like millions of these.
But it's
things.
even worse because once a gremlin goes to the pupate stage and gets water on it, it forms a fully formed gremlin, like
Whoa.
right out of the
It
gate.
like jumps right
it just
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
it becomes huge.
It jumps the evolutionary stage.
So Mogwai, the original Mogwai, is still just like
Gizmo?
hanging.
Gizmo, yeah.
Gizmo,
Gizmo's
right.
like, oh no.
He's still just hanging.
Gizmo was back at home. I think maybe the other gremlins, like he's always getting hurt and teased by the other gremlins.
Yeah, that's right. They pick on him.
They pick on him because he's a little guy. Mm-hmm. He's our buddy. He's what we want as a kid. We want that toy.
Mm-hmm.
There's gremlins all over the place. There's gonna be a scene in this movie which I hope holds up. You see a white snowfield and and maybe some houses, or it could just be blank, and you see shadows behind it, and you start to see like gremlins just pouring out of the shadows.
Oh my
like,
God.
Like so many, just dozens and dozens of gremlins.
And they're like, this is where they terrorize the whole town.
The whole town gets like held up by gremlins.
The only real thing that I remember is the old lady who's really mean. Mm-hmm. She's like trying to escape by going down her little like escalator ramp thing, and like gremlins are like downstairs, and then she goes back up it. I think.
Yeah, she has a little chairlift that takes her up
Chairlift,
and down the
yes.
stairs.
Yeah.
And she like goes down it, and then sees gremlins and tries to go up it. But I think her house like catches fire or something like that.
So gremlins live up to their name. They love tinkering with electronics and machines and things.
Yes.
They tinker with her chairlift.
Yeah, oh,
and
that's
and they like super power it. So when she goes up,
It, like,
just
shoots
It
up.
just ramps, and she goes flying out the window in it,
Yeah.
and she dies.
Oh,
she gets
man,
killed. Her gremlins kill
wow.
her.
I had this movie on VHS, and I remember this scene like
Very
I think
vividly.
I like popped in the VHS one day and this scene played. Like someone had stopped it like right there. It was really fun, but it was like there's a lot of like bad tracking on that video. That's all I remember.
The gremlins also gain control of a snowplow that Mr. Futterman owns, or maybe it's just he doesn't own it, but it's near him.
Yeah.
And they chase him and they run it through his house. And the gremlins, you think they're just like they're just awful. I think he ends up fighting the gremlins and like winning against them, but he lives, and so does because they come back in the sequel, Mr. and Miss Futterman.
Okay.
yeah.
Phoebe Cates is now go jumping back a bit to where I was going. Phoebe
Yeah.
Cates is in the bar serving all the gremlins. It's the weirdest scene in probably any movie ever. There's a flasher gremlin
Yep.
who has an overcoat and like sunglasses.
Oh, this needs more gremlins too.
this I think they took this scene from Gremlins 1 and made the whole movie Gremlins 2 just with this.
It
scene,
probably
with this
got a
tone.
good
And they're
laugh.
just doing like stuff like, are they like playing pool and smoking cigars
You
and
got
stuff?
it.
Yeah, it was.
Aren't they like? Isn't there one point where like the gremlins are wearing sunglasses or something like that?
Yeah, the streaker gremlin has sunglasses on.
Yeah.
There's a
I
gremlin.
thought they may have been wearing sunglasses just to like survive during the daytime or something like that. But then in my head, I was like, that doesn't make sense.
There's a gremlin that they have a gun at some point, and one of them like shoots each other in a pretty funny way. I think these gremlins are just having the time
They're
of
off
their
the
life.
chain, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
New Year's Eve party time. Here we go. Billy ends up saving her. I think Judge Reinhold got killed at this point some point in time, but I can't remember where.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Only Reinhold. Reinhold strong.
I hope he doesn't die.
he dies.
Oh, he's gotta
Aw.
die. He's the jerk that's
Keeping him.
that's blocking Billy.
Yep. He's the clock blocker.
Yep. He's
Can't
gotta. He's
see
gotta
him
go.
as a jerk. I can't see him as a jerk though.
There's a moment where Phoebe Cates and Billy are trying to like figure out a plan for the Gremlins, and Phoebe Cates goes into this weird monologue about how she always hates Christmas. It's because when she was little, during Christmas Eve, she describes it amazing. Like everything was beautiful, and the mom was so happy, and the cookies were great, and like Dad was supposed to come home like real soon, but he didn't come home, and they started to notice like a weird smell in the house, and they're like,
Oh.
and like a few days later, it's like found out the dad wasn't coming home, and they found him dressed up as a Santa Claus stuck in the chimney.
Oh man, that's like urban legend levels of a Santa Claus story, man.
That's like that's like a urban legend
Yeah.
almost.
And it's the only moment in this movie where she actually gets a character development. I would say, like, otherwise she's just really positive to Billy. But here you're like, oh, this girl has seen some shit. She has had some rough times.
Yeah, that's a way to ruin Christmas, you know.
Moral of the story: don't go down the chimney.
Those things are small.
And Santa's fat. So
Yeah.
bad combination. So they cook up a plan to kill the Gremlins. They're gonna lure them, or how do they lure them? They end up getting them in a theater for watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Yes, I do remember them in the theater.
I don't know why they're attracted to that movie in particular, or how they got them all in the theater to begin with. But they trick them all there, and they're gonna flash, or they're gonna either burn it down or like flash light through the screen. Somehow,
The light would make sense. Like that'd be easier for them to do.
since we've started this podcast, in my head I've been trying to piece together this scene of how they kill the Gremlins, because they do. Like they all die.
Can they just shine like flashlights in all their faces? Use that as a weapon?
I'm gonna say Billy and I forget Phoebe Cates' character's name. Oh, you had it?
No, I don't.
They lock the theater and they burn it to the ground. But one gremlin escapes, and it's Stripe.
Of course it is.
And
Lives another day.
no, Billy chases him into a toy store. And Billy has Gizmo at this point too, or Gizmo shows up. One or the other happens.
Yeah.
And Billy's fighting Stripe in the toy store, and there's some sort of like weird water fountain that he's gonna make more gremlins, and it's gonna start all over again, right?
Oh God.
But Gizmo ends up saving the day by getting a toy RC pink Cadillac
Yes, I remember this.
and like driving it into Stripe, and I think Stripe like hits an electrical box or something like that, and ends up getting electrocuted.
That scene is so freaking cute. Little Gizmo driving a car.
Yeah, he's driving a car around a toy store.
It's so great. I can't wait.
No, you can't wait to see.
Yeah,
this
you're
movie.
so excited.
I can't wait to see this movie, guys. I'm just really excited about it.
And the gremlin dies like super creepy. It like turns into a green pus, just puddle, and its like eyes melt away. It's horrifying. You see like the inside workings of a gremlin
Oh man.
when Stripe dies.
I'm not gonna lie, if like that's what happens, if that's the consequences of a gremlin, I'm gonna have to say it. I'm gonna kill Gizmo.
Oh wow! I didn't even think
I'm
about
gonna.
that.
Yeah,
I
that's
swear to God, like I
actually-
feel like it's just like it's bound to just be a horrible,
Yeah, like,
horrible
yeah.
accident.
It's like for the safety of the world, I feel like you
Yeah.
have a responsibility.
I mean, as cute as the thing is, like if it can cause that much chaos,
And it didn't seem very good
It's-
at preventing it from happening in the first place.
plus like how have gremlins existed, but no one had heard about like a gremlin attack or something like that before this movie.
Maybe it was just like they wrote it off as just generic animal attacks. They're like, oh, it's probably a raccoon.
Also, we have like gremlins in our like mythology, like of little creatures existing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
We just never
Terrorize
see them.
machines.
Then they live at night, so we don't see them.
Yeah.
It used to be the old thing to say like if your TV wasn't working, it was the gremlins causing the troubles.
Yep.
Like,
there's also what in that Twilight Zone episode with the thing
camera?
on the plane. It was it was basically like a gremlin.
Yep.
That's what it looked like. It was just a bigger version of their gremlins.
Yeah, Terra. Yeah, it likes to take apart things. That's what it's like known.
Yeah,
to do.
Right.
and that's exactly what I was doing in that episode. It was
Yep.
just tearing the plane apart on the one side of the wing.
Throughout the movie, we see shots of the dad at the convention. There's some weird robot. He's like talking in a payphone, and there's some wacky robot next to him that keeps like repeating dumb lines. And I think the dad just ends with a story about what to like. It's kind of a creepy way about if you see something alone at night to like turn the corner or something like that. It's like
Yeah.
I just got chills trying to think about what he says. But
Yeah.
it's like this super creepy thing the dad says as the movie
Oh,
closes.
jeez.
Before you call the repairman, turn on all the lights, check all the closets and cupboards, look under all the beds. Because you never can tell. There just might be a gremlin in your house.
I don't remember what he says, but I remember that like
Turn
that
off your
feeling.
lights and then
Yes, the way he says it, he just is exactly like that.
Yeah.
It gives you chills.
and they're multiplying, and I'm losing control. So, do you think you guys remember anything that I missed from this movie?
I don't think I remember anything that you said.
Yeah. I mean, I think.
No, I mean, but like, I it's been a long time since I've seen this movie that I couldn't really remember.
I remember
much.
bits. I remember the Gremlins in the theater. I do remember Gizmo driving the Cadillac, and I remember them partying like after they hatched. Like all the Gremlins kind of like having the crazy party in the house. And I remember the microwave is the one I remember
Yeah.
the most.
The blender's freaky too. 'cause
Yeah,
it,
the
like,
blender
it
is
spins
freaky.
around. It gets legs.
Just spins the gremlin around inside too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I just remember a gremlin wearing sunglasses. That's what I got.
and I think I remembered some of that bar scene because I do remember like Gremlins being goofy.
Yeah, they're like smoking cigarettes and stuff, and
Yep.
like
Being
they're acting
degenerates.
like patrons. Actually,
Yeah,
they're acting
they're
like
just-
patrons.
they're
They're
like,
like
"Oh,
having
the-"
conversations, and then just like one of them just like chucks its beer glass against a mirror or something like that.
It's like the bar is their natural habitat. Apparently, like they're just.
You gave me time to remember things that I forgot, which was good.
okay.
Ooh.
So while the gremlins are terrorizing the town, there are a bunch of police. There's a policeman sitting in a car, and they're like seeing all this terrifying things happen around them. And like a gremlin like short wires their brakes or something like that, and they end up driving. They're fleeing the scene and end up crashing. The cowardly policeman. There's also an odd scene where a lady is putting mail into a mailbox, and the mail keeps shooting back out at her. And like she keeps putting it back in, taking it out, and putting it back in, and there's like a guy around who like does the same thing, and like he gets pulled into the like hard into the mailbox, like there's a gremlin in there,
Okay.
and, like bites his hand or something like that. It's kind of a goofy scene.
Oh boy.
There's just like around the town, goofy things happen to the gremlins.
Are they like poisonous at all, or they're just like
They
bitey and
just, I
scratchy?
think they just
and-
eat you, bite you,
Yeah.
and scratch you, and eat you.
Okay.
Wonder if they eat you whole, or if they just
They like save you in bits.
get bits or not.
Or just like with along the same lines of like tinkering with things, they just tinker with your body and just like tear it apart.
If I put
Oh,
this
Lord.
arm here.
Like, oh, what's inside here? Just rip you open.
Yeah.
Rip you open and pour you out. Like a.
It's been a very musical episode.
Yeah, I've been trying. I think there's a few more songs I'm even missing from this movie that play that are pretty neat. But
The Macarena.
yeah, hey, yeah, that's in the song. That's in this movie. That song is in this movie. Is what I said.
Space Jam.
Space Jam's in this movie. Yeah.
Does the song the Mogwai sings, does that ever really come into like, is that useful? Like, do they lure them to the theater by playing the song or something?
No, in the second one, you identify that noise.
Okay.
As like because it's around the building,
Yeah.
but
Okay. I don't know if it might be more of a plot device or not.
that would be interesting. But yeah, it's not.
They just
Columbus
like
didn't think of
music.
that. So before we get to part 2, I have some knowledge that you'd have to look up to know.
Well, drop
Okay.
it.
I read the original script that Chris Columbus wrote
course you did.
way back in the day because I
Yeah,
love this
of
movie
course
so
you did.
much. and there is no Gizmo in the original script.
What?
What? How is that even
How's
possible?
the movie happen?
It's just a monster.
Oh, it just like happens.
Yeah, there's just a monster terrorizing the town,
Oh.
and he like, kills a lot of people. It's almost like a werewolf movie
Oh, okay,
about this gremlin just loose in the town.
that could be cool.
But through the rewrite process, they wanted to sell toys, so they
Merchandise.
Yeah.
they designed the Gizmo in order to go along with the film.
And named it Gizmo.
Because in order for it to like just be more than just a successful horror thriller, they also wanted to make money on the back end. Because movies just want money all the time.
Yeah.
And coming up with the Gizmo ideas. Was
I
their
will
route
almost
to
say
it.
that I think that this movie wouldn't be as good if Gizmo wasn't in there. I mean, it would be a different movie
agree.
altogether, but
Yeah.
like it would.
I mean, I think
it probably
could
wouldn't
work,
be
but-
as like known as it is now
Yeah,
without Gizmo.
It's the iconic character of this film. Like,
yeah, it's like
Right.
It's like taking a horror movie and then also throwing E.T. in there.
Yeah, exactly. I think if it hadn't had Gizmo, it would have been just another monster movie, and instead it becomes a much more iconic film.
Yeah, and that way, like, it's not quite for kids, but like you're in a way like possibly expanding the age range of people that would want to see it if it was just like a horror movie.
Right.
Like you might just get a
Yeah.
very niche audience.
this has to have been like the scariest movie I saw when I was a kid that like made me have nightmares and think things were in my closet and under my bed. Like I was so afraid of these things. They are not to be messed around with.
Yeah.
They mean business.
Just follow the rules, Brad.
They're the things of nightmares. Kids need to watch this movie just to get more nightmares.
Just it builds character.
It does. I feel. Fear your own closet in your basement. Fear every dark place in your room because there could be a gremlin.
Yeah.
So join us on part 2 if we make it there.
Oh man,
Don't go in your closets, guys.
I think I've gotten excited.
Well, we're gonna talk about what we got right and what we got wrong in Gremlins.
Bum 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 ba-da-dum ba-dum bo. Bum 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 ba-dum ba ba ba.
The Gremlins sing like
nailed it.
like kind of like a chorus background sometimes in that song, where you kind of hear them making weird
Is
noises.
that John Williams? John Williams that did that song?
Oh, I thought you said. Oh, Howie Mandel does the voice of Gizmo.
What?
Before we look it up, before I get
One
corrected.
last bit of trivia.
One last bit of trivia before we go to part 2.
And part 2.
Bum, 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 bum. I mean, you know it by now. Twitter, @WhatWeRemember. Facebook.com/WhatWeRemember. Get at us. Comment on us. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Subscribe to us on SoundCloud. You know the deal. Come on. Come on. You know what's up. Thanks.
Dad, it's really neat. Where did you get this?
Some little junk store in Chinatown.
Can I pick him up, Dad?
Sure, go ahead. Just be careful. You gotta be gentle.
I will.
I hope he's housebroken.
Oh, isn't he cute? Has it got a name, Dad?
Yeah, Mogwai.
What?
Mogwai. I don't know, it's some Chinese word. I just call him Gizmo. He seems to like it.
Welcome back to the Don't Get Us Wet podcast. We
Oh.
watched Gremlins.
Yeah, and I really want a Gizmo.
Yeah?
Really bad.
Do you?
I do. Gizmo's cute as hell.
There's
Yeah, but
Furbies on
so much
eBay.
responsibility.
Yeah, and the guy didn't think
With-
that the
with-
West was ready yet.
With great
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 Gizmo.
With great Gizmo
comes-
comes great responsibilities. Okay, yeah, Andy, you already brought up the Chinese guy at the very end.
Go ahead.
I swear to God, okay, he he didn't want to sell the Gizmo in the first place, but then
No.
when he came back and he was like, "You guys are not ready, your Western ways," and he like took Gizmo back, I was like, Gizmo's going back into a cage with a towel over it in that shot.
That's
Little tiny
100%
little
what
shop
happens.
in
Because
Chinatown.
Gremlins 2 opens with him in that China shop again.
Yeah,
That's
he's
why-
going back into a cage.
Yeah.
That's
like,
why Gizmo's
is
like,
that
no,
so
I
much-
like that guy because
that
he
so much
actually had
better?
a life, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Do gizmos eat something? Like, what do they eat that's just not after midnight? Can they eat just regular food?
No.
Do they have,
It's,
like,
it's
gizmo
just like a
feed?
strict diet plan. Like no food after midnight. You need to go to sleep. You need to.
Can it
just
drink
wake up in the
water
morning.
as long as it doesn't spill any on itself?
That's like, I don't know if it even consumes water. That's a
I don't
good
think
question.
I don't think it consumes water.
So I want to see the
I don't think
anatomy.
it. I don't. It's not
So,
made of water.
so it doesn't have a bladder. It probably doesn't have genitalia. It probably
No,
doesn't
I
have
guess not.
kidneys.
Yeah.
It's asexual, unless it has sex with water.
Well, it is
What's happening? Ew!
It is asexual because
Just-
it makes more of itself. It doesn't need another
Right.
gizmo to get
Yeah.
gizmo. There should be a lady gizmo though, and like Lady Pac-Man.
Well, in Gremlins too.
I don't
they've
know,
got,
though.
Or Gizmo could be a lady too. I guess it doesn't really matter. They're sort
Right.
of gender neutral.
Although I have a huge problem with the fact that all the Gremlins, as they were deciding to tear up the town, their first order of business was find some clothes.
Well, they're naked. Of course they need to get clothes.
I was getting confused, like in that
It's
bar
Christmas
sequence.
time.
What would you do if you were like, oh, I'm brand new born and I need to cause mischief? Step one.
Step one,
Find clothes.
get a trench coat.
Get a pair of glasses. Get a gun.
I mean, they looked fun and they looked cute and it played up a lot of the comedy elements, but in my head I was like, why is that happening? Like, why did they first do that?
I have no idea. I think that scene probably would have got cut in like 2016, but like it's the 80s, man.
I will say,
Leave it in.
given everything that happened, the Chinese guy's reaction at the end I felt was a little understated. He was just sort of like, I don't think you're ready for a gizmo. He's not like, you were careless and people died.
A lot of
A
people
lot
died in
of people
this
died.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay.
But like, if you own a gizmo, then you literally you have to be watching that thing 24/7.
You're responsible. I mean,
That's why
Or
you,
else,
that's why you
like-
just stick it in a cage.
Exactly.
You have to.
that's why I think that he's lucky that the science teacher bit it early on, because he can be like, I don't know where these gremlins. I've never heard of gremlins before in my life. I was just a regular guy like everyone else.
He was
'Cause
able to deny
no one
plausibility.
else-
or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, plausible deniability on that one. The science teacher's not there to be like, he had the first one.
Yeah, I forgot about the student films or whatever that he's showing his kids.
Oh yeah, they were
Remember?
kind of goofy.
Oh,
So did you guys have any like projectors like that when you guys were watching movies in?
No, we had
High
a
school?
we had a VCR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we always had a VCR.
Yeah,
Probably
see
in
that's
the
the
80s.
difference between our generation and that. Like
Yeah.
they would roll in a TV into the classroom that all of the classrooms borrowed.
Yeah,
That was our generation.
I think our library maybe had like 2 TVs on roly wheelie guys.
Yep. With
Yep.
The carts.
And no teacher ever knew how to use it. Like,
Yep.
It would always have to be a student to help them like, figure out how to work a television set.
Yeah.
But he seemed like maybe was a former projectionist. He ran that thing like a champ
He knew what he was doing.
until it ran out, and that was really spooky when the real keep moving.
Yeah,
That's pretty
I felt
awesome.
like he, as a teacher, like as he was watching that video before the noises happened back with the gremlin that he had, he was like bored out of his mind. He was just kind of like just watching the video with the kids, but he looked like he was just like, oh, just another day where we got to watch this stupid movie again.
I mean, it's probably his life. It's how many times has he seen that film? He's like, show this. to
However
every
many years
class
he's been working.
every year.
That's what the
I've
science
been here
teachers gotta
for
do.
20 years.
You can only build so many paper mache volcanoes.
Yeah. So I did want to jump back and reference our Wayne's World episode because
okay.
we talked about the PG-13 rating,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to bring this back up because
This
apparently
is rated G, right? Originally.
it's
towards
rated PG,
It's PG.
but this is I read that this movie with Temple of Doom and Red Dawn are the reasons why PG-13 exists.
Uh-huh.
So they were saying that this movie and the other two movies were not
Catalysts for
Yeah,
Or,
some of the content was a little bit more
risque.
yeah.
Or,
Ooh.
where it wasn't quite an R. There wasn't like sex or nudity or bad words, but it wasn't
Yeah.
quite like just a PG because there was violence.
Yeah, people dying.
And specifically, they said that the microwave scene.
I was
was
gonna say, the
reason
microwave
why.
with the
that was
blender.
pretty nasty.
Yeah, and the blender scene.
Yep.
Even.
Yeah, and the
that
mom,
whole sequence.
The mom getting like, there's blood in the movie, so it's like, how much do you really can you let go? Like, seeing blood or seeing violence or seeing someone get killed on screen or.
Yeah. I still don't know if it answers the question in the Wayne's World episode about what caused Wayne's World to be a PG-13 movie, but
Language, I would guess?
probably
Implied
language.
drug use?
Implied, yeah. maybe
T. Carrera's butt,
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some partial
and then,
cleavage.
and then Mike Myers' butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it all kind of started apparently with Red Dawn, and then these other two movies, all in the same year.
Yeah, because you think you see any other PG movie, like, oh, I can just take my kid to this one, too. It's like, oh, I'm sure it's fine. And it's like, oh, wait, people are getting murdered. Gremlins are terrorizing the town. There's
Yeah.
very frightening images happening. The music is very atmospheric. That poor dog gets caught up in the lights.
Yeah, that sequence that just happened. I was like, when did they have the time to do this to the dog?
I
It
have
just
no
like
idea.
cut to
Nope.
the dog is on the porch wrapped in lights, and I was like, what? When did this happen?
Yeah.
I took issue with the fact that the rules for the Gremlins was explained in voiceover.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like,
Did you guys-
It was like after the fact, maybe.
Yep, I totally
Yeah.
agree. Actually,
Yeah. He's just like, it's like foggy streets or whatever, and there's the voiceover.
Yeah, and I almost like didn't like the opening scene. It seemed off. Like all the acting was a little weird, and the pacing was off, and then just the fact that the voiceover was, or that the rules were explained in voiceover, it was like an afterthought almost.
Yeah, the little kid says the rules, and then like he repeats them. The rules are said maybe at least three times.
Yeah, they only. I mean, yeah, you kind of get them like right as they're explained. They're pretty straightforward rules, but it almost feels like an afterthought because the scene is ending as he's picking up the gremlin outside of the shop in the alley, and then he's like kind of just walking away from it, and the dad and the little Chinese boy are like kind of just talking back and forth about these rules, like don't feed it after midnight, don't get it wet, and you can't touch, or it can't be touched by sunlight or any light.
So, yeah, light hurts it,
bright
and
light,
sunlight
yeah.
can kill
Bright
it.
lights, yeah.
So did I get the ending correct? Forget what I said. He gets electrocuted or something?
No, it's
What did I say?
light.
It's a skylight.
It's a
Oh, the
skylight.
skylight opens up
Gizmo
and
turns the
that's right.
skylight on
Yeah.
And
as
he
he's like
melts
in
in the
that
thing.
When he's in the
sweet ass
fountain.
car,
yeah.
which is like the best scene in the entire movie.
Totally is.
How
we
is he
mentioned
able to
the first
drive it
episode.
with the wheel? I could see like an RC remote, but
I don't really know how he's able to drive that, but it looked awesome, and I almost wish they showed it in a wide shot a little bit more, or like a medium close. They were showing a lot of like super close up on Gizmo's
yeah, there's
face.
definitely a couple
Yeah.
different sized gizmos in this movie. And
Yeah.
like, that one that's like always extreme on his face is really weird.
It's a little jarring.
Or like the close up ones when like the things are eating, the little Mogwai are eating food, and there's like weird close ups of like, hey, this is
Yeah.
weird. What's going on?
Also, like Judge Reinhold,
Here comes the Judd.
his what do you think his relevance was in the movie?
Just to be another villain that's like,
He's only in the opening sequence, though.
yeah, just to like represent what
I get.
Zach Galligan could be.
That's what I was gonna
or
say. Like
something.
it's just I think to make
Oh.
his life seem less in
Yeah.
a way, so you empathize more with him immediately.
Okay, so he's a character that Zach could, or Bill, is it Billy?
Billy,
Billy could be, but doesn't want to be. But then like
but does in the same respect because he's dating Phoebe Cates at that point, and I don't really know.
I mean, it's a good question to ask in the first place. His character was kind of superfluous.
yeah. So because he's not in the movie after he gets the gremlins basically.
Yeah, I just
Or after the gremlins are born from Gizmo
right.
or other Mogwai.
Yeah.
He's like out of the movie after that moment. And it's interesting that they're both Phoebe Cates and Judge Reinhold are in that movie because they're also
Fast Times.
yeah, they're in Fast Times 2 years before this together.
Mm-hmm.
As he's caught, whacking it in the bathroom.
What did that happen in real
Yeah.
life? Like
Well,
George
no.
Michael or Pee Wee Herman? Rip. George
All of who were caught.
He was probably, I think he like for a hot second he was a name that like people
was.
wanted in movies
He had a good
Yeah.
early 80s.
for sure.
Fast Times,
Beverly Hills Cop.
Beverly Hills Cop,
Yeah.
this movie, kind of.
And it ended with Vice Versa in 1990.
Well, he was also, I mean, he was in both of the Beverly
Hills
Hills
Cop 3.
sequels. Was he in he's in the second one as well, I believe.
Yep.
And the third one. So I don't know what his career was like beyond those movies. He was never really a lead guy.
No,
No, but
Just
he's a good name to throw
second
on a
banana.
poster.
Yeah, second banana.
He's a great second banana. That's a Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
That's the banana. in the tailpipe. What did you think of Dick Miller, Mr. and Miss Futterman? What did you think about them?
The Futtermans were they his parents?
No, the neighbors, his friendly elderly neighbor friends.
I loved Mr. Futterman.
Yeah, Dick Miller, he's so good.
He was fantastic.
He was so good.
He's so he commits to every scene. He's like a classic actor.
He's a phenomenal actor
I think
too.
he's
Like
he's
everything.
been in some Twilight Zones, I think, or I could be wrong, but
Maybe,
like a lot of black and
maybe.
white TV series and movies, and he's been
Yeah,
around
he
a
was
lot.
just fantastic.
He's wonderful actor.
All of his acting, like I think his acting out of almost everybody in that movie, except a couple other people, like his was top notch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Billy's was that great. He didn't really. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It was just kind of mediocre.
His hair did a lot of acting for him.
It did. It was very feathered.
And his sweater. He's basically a sweater and some hair.
Yeah.
He had an interesting sweater game. A very interesting sweater game. Also, Mike from Breaking Bad is
Yeah.
in this movie
Oh,
as the sidekick cop,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he was really funny. Like his character, just for having only a couple scenes.
Yeah, just watching Gremlins terrorize the town, him freaking out.
Yeah, I love like his character had depth because he was a very anxious cop.
Yeah.
Like at one point he was just like, I think we should go back to the station.
We don't want to fight any Gremlins.
Yeah, because they're like small-time cops or
Yeah.
small town cops, and so they don't deal with gremlins. They just deal with
No.
maybe Mr. Futterman being drunk at the bar and
Hey, look. Those Jeepers Creepers cops stepped up. Why aren't these guys stepping
that's
up?
True.
all
one-
100 of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 100 Gremlins could beat a Jeepers Creeper.
Probably. I mean, that's it. I'd watch that battle. They need to bring back the celebrity death match.
Gremlin versus Jeeper Creeper.
I did have a moment in like the middle of the movie when is it Spike? Spike jumped into the YMCA pool.
Oh, that's
And I was like, oh no, it's happening now.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
all the colored lights are in the pool.
Yeah,
and it's
the
just,
whole
like,
thing's
strobing out.
smoking and bubbling,
Yeah.
as if like the whole water is like boiling over, and you get that shot as the gremlins are walking down the street that looks so creepy.
Yeah, that shot
does.
is.
It was like it was creepy and funny and animatronic, just like
Yeah, was it
Gremlins.
animatronic? Was it animated or
It was stop motion, I
stop
think.
motion?
But like 100 of them.
Yeah.
So many, it's layered on top of each other. That shot is so sweet.
Yeah.
Just shows you like they are
Time
totally
consuming.
screwed.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
they are totally screwed.
In terms
That
of like
many gremlins.
filmmaking, that must have been time consuming to like position all of those gremlins over time. Just to get that one like 5-second shot of them moving down the street.
Yeah, special
Right.
effects. You know, they were in the '80s. They were trying to push what they could do in the movie, and the Gremlins themselves look so good.
They do.
I was surprised how good they. I didn't expect
They're
them.
made of foam rubber.
Yeah, I expected
Yeah.
them to look
A lot of
very
different
dated
parts.
from what I have in my head, and
They're
then,
kind of like oily looking too.
But yeah, they looked good.
Oh yeah,
They were very believable.
Yeah, like they
I
have like
didn't-
little spots all over their bodies,
Yeah,
and their
I
eyes
mean-
are just so.
They look very reptilian. It's a good. Did like a good. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it very well, but
Can you describe it for us?
it's
Yeah,
good.
yeah, go for it.
It was
Can
very
you use
good.
Can you use a word other than good?
Goodly.
Ooh.
Mr. Goodly Bar, Mr.
Mr.
Goodly
Goodbar.
Bar.
Yeah, they're very convincing.
So we started the show with singing the theme song, and
Uh-huh.
I feel like they totally just teased you the entire movie.
This is like a little bit of the song.
You only got the actual theme song when
At
the
the-
Futtermans were getting crushed by the tractor.
The tractor run full of gremlins.
That is when you got full force the entire actual theme song.
I just love how cavalier it was when they're being crushed by that tractor.
That
I
scene
need to
is
talk
so
about
good.
the song.
That scene was
I
fantastic.
It was
love
so
that
good.
scene.
So, yeah, but they teased you the entire time. They gave you like minor score versions of the theme song,
They
and
just
they
give you like
only
background like a gremlin like screaming noises like.
yeah.
Yeah.
They only gave you the actual theme song twice in the entire movie. And
the
I was kind of
credits and
disappointed. I wanted to hear it more, but it makes sense in a way too that they would do that, because like the theme song needs to be accompanied with the fact that the gremlins are there.
Right.
I feel. because it's honestly it's their theme song.
Yeah, and what a goddamn great theme song.
Fantastic.
When movies could have sweet theme songs.
I got
Right.
so happy when I heard it during that scene. I kind of started like smiling and
man.
laughing. It was so good.
And Miss Deagle flying out of the window into,
yes.
into the tree.
It's such a good bit.
I don't mean to jump back to the score again,
Go ahead.
but I
Yeah,
did
go ahead.
I just did some minor research. The composer is Jerry Goldsmith, and he's done a ton of movies. A couple of scores that he's done for is Planet of the Apes, Alien, Chinatown, Total Recall, Mulan, all of the Rambo movies.
Yeah.
And that's just a couple. He's done a lot. I think he's even
those also have a pretty popular theme songs.
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he's a big name. He's won a ton of awards, and I think he said he had 18 Academy Award nominations. I think he only actually won one of them.
For Gremlins.
No, I don't know what it was for. I didn't see that.
Did Steven Spielberg produce this movie? Was that
He did.
Read about that? Okay.
This is apparently the first time that you see the Amblin Entertainment logo.
No. E.T. came out after this movie?
It didn't have that logo.
Oh.
The reason why that
I
Amblin,
thought
because the
E.T. is
Amblin
in the
logo,
Amblin logo.
it is, but it wasn't in the movie
Oh.
E.T.
So
It was created after that
I get
because
it.
it's kind of like an image that's iconic
It's
with Steven Spielberg.
because it's so iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think Amblin Entertainment existed, but it didn't have that logo at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So Gremlins is apparently, from what I read, the first time that you see that logo.
Man, what a collaboration this movie was.
Yeah.
So many great things.
Apparently,
happening.
Steven Spielberg had a lot of creative control over this movie.
I would guess so, just based off I told you I read the original script, and man, is it different.
Yeah, which was just a
putting-
spec script, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Columbus was just like, hey, I can write.
Yeah, it was only like a 60-page script, I think, but it was a lot of elements were in it, but
And you said you read it, and I think you were saying that Gizmo didn't exist in the movie?
There's no Gizmo. It's just Big Gremlin. Just one
Okay.
Big Gremlin.
I was reading something, and I don't know, maybe this was like a second draft or something. Chris Columbus had written that Gizmo turns into Spike, and Steven Spielberg said, no, that should not happen at
Yeah.
all.
I think there's a later draft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like because you need that. You need
You need a
Gizmo.
lovable
the
character,
original
and
Gizmo,
you
yeah.
need some, in a way, it's kind of marketing, too. It's
Yeah.
good marketing.
There's not enough Gizmos in movies. There's not enough of that character that's like relatable to
Yeah.
the Worf from Star Trek.
The Jar Jar Binks from.
Oh dear God! My analogy is the only one that is
That
going
makes sense.
That makes sense.
I think they should make another kind of like monster movie like this with like a lovable character.
Krampus it didn't have a lovable character, but Krampus was in the spirit of Gremlins.
Yeah, I mean, like, I want something to have like some type of lovable creature that someone gets or
Yeah, like a toy.
has. Yeah, that could have some marketable aspects to it.
I was in the toy aisle on Christmas like a bunch looking for stuff, and man, there's nothing like that. You get like Furbies,
Yeah.
and that's all.
I mean, are there any movies that have come out like in the last couple of years that have kind of like an ET character or like a
The Lorax?
Gizmo?
that's all
Yeah.
they can think of.
I mean,
But that's like even older actually
Right.
than those movies.
I mean, like a lot of the Pixar films, like Finding Nemo, especially. There's like plushes of all the frickin' fish.
Yeah, like Wall-E, I guess has
Yeah.
his own thing.
I guess I mean more of like a movie with human beings who also have like fictional creatures in them. Like E.T., alien creatures, something from another planet, where it's not like really like an alien movie.
Yeah,
it's just
that movie
like,
doesn't get made anymore.
Lilo and Stitch.
yeah, I guess so.
But that's
maybe
even
that's,
live action.
that's-
Even that's pretty
I'm
old
thinking
now.
more of a
Oh yeah,
live
that's right. You were
action,
saying
too.
live action. Yeah.
Well, no, but I guess Lilo and Stitch does kind of meet that same
But
type of criteria.
Yeah. But
Except
even
being
then,
an
that
animated
movie's
movie.
pretty old at this point, even.
Right, right.
So yeah, it hasn't. It's not something that
I
comes
think
along
that's
very
something that
often.
someone could write and bring back. Like maybe
Yeah.
something that throws back to the 80s, which is like happening more and more these days.
I can think of nothing but robots, like a BB-8.
I
and
was
then
just about to
Wall-E.
say that. Yeah, all the movies that are coming out are all robots.
Right.
Well, and they're all Star Wars too. But
Well.
like even like Interstellar has a robot that's kind of lovable in a weird way.
Yeah. I really like the robots in Interstellar.
Yeah. Like they've all these creatures or alien creatures have been replaced with robots.
Yeah, I
The
can't.
lovable AI is the newest thing, Andy. Get on board. We're leaving you
yeah.
behind.
Yeah, just everything's
Someone
robots
write
now.
this movie. Someone come up with another
Gremlins 3.
Yeah, or like something that's an offshoot from Gremlins in a way.
Is there like a little transformer in Transformers?
Baby
cool.
Transformer?
There's so many robots in.
There's like a micro machine that turns into a micro transformer.
Yeah, Krampus didn't have any like lovable, friendly creatures. Just a lot of scary ones. Critters is scary. What came out after? I don't know, man.
This is like a 80s thing, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I think Gremlins is just like one of a kind, and then there were the ones that tried to steal the formula and failed, like Munchies and
Yeah.
Critters and Ghoulies. But then
We're so separated from those movies now, like 20 to 30 years, that
For
I
sure.
feel like it could happen
I
again.
think I think it could work for sure. And I
Yeah.
think you're right. I think the marketing potential would be huge. So I'm surprised no one hasn't tried it really recently. Because I
Right.
think that's a
too
big,
many Liam Neeson movies.
Yeah.
Too many John Wick
I
films.
need more.
well, you
Taken
can't have too many
plushies.
John Wick films.
Too many Lord of the Rings.
Ooh, yeah, that's true.
Too many Harry Potters where Dobby is a frightening creature. I was trying to think if there was something in that movie, but they don't have.
Not really.
They don't have a little sidekicky
The
guy.
Harry Potter one, the one that Fantastic Beasts, is that what you're just talking about?
I didn't see that one.
I
talking about
saw
the regular
that.
Just in general,
Potters.
Harry Potter doesn't have like a friendly...
You know what? Now that I just said that, I guess I did see Fantastic Beasts, and it kind of had moments like that, but
Yeah.
not in the same way.
I would agree, and it's not. I guess the movie itself is about the beast in a way, but there's not like a focus on like a
One beast
one that
or-
really drives the story. They're all incidental to the story. I feel.
Right. Like if they had so in Fantastic Beasts, there's a creature in there that kind of looks like a platypus, but its primary thing that it loves is to steal
Shiny stuff.
shiny things.
Yeah.
So it just keeps stealing jewelry. And that character in the movie was funny, and people
Mm-hmm.
liked it in the theater when I saw it. Like people
Yeah.
were laughing at it and stuff. But that was so minor to the whole movie.
Yeah, the movie itself really doesn't. Nothing
So I guess
pivots
in a-
around the creature that much. The movie itself and the creatures themselves, I feel like, are almost incidental.
Right.
I think of two that are alien. Paul, which is a movie that came out like a few years ago, and there was a
Yeah.
Stephen Chow film called like C9,
Oh yes.
and it was also those both were aliens though.
Yeah.
They weren't like
See,
monsters.
Yeah, I think that's a problem. Like, don't make it an alien, like in our sense of like a kind of humanistic looking thing. Like, make it look more like a
Yeah, you don't
a
know where the
creature.
Mogwai came from. Yeah, they could have been like living with us all the whole.
If
time
you read
and-
the Gremlins wiki, they came from another planet.
Oh, do they?
Really?
Yeah. There's there's like a
Planet
wiki
Mogwai.
for every movie
Yeah.
possible, but
They do
that's
have-
what the wiki was saying.
There is a movie coming out called Monster Trucks where it's like alien comes down and like literally takes over a truck that this guy has.
I've-
Is this Space
seen
Jam?
it. It's a
Yeah.
it's a CG shark
It's CG like
shark monster.
octopus monster thing that like inhabits this guy's truck, and then his truck's pretty cool, and then it saves the day.
What?
Yeah.
This is a movie coming out?
Yeah. Somehow this movie got made.
Wow.
So, I mean, I guess that's sort of in that vein.
Yeah. Well, okay. Throw it up. We'll throw it back to Twitter if anyone can think of.
We never remember to do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no.
The
I'm
podcast
saying
comes out like in 4 months.
Right.
We're not gonna remember to do that.
no. But I'm saying like if
They can tweet to us.
If- yeah,
Oh,
tweet,
yeah.
when
tweet
they
to
listen
us.
To us.
to it.
Oh, by this time we'll be super famous.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's gonna be following us.
So tweet to us if we missed any movies that feature a lovable,
Specifically within the last like 10 years. I would
yeah,
say.
that
very
feature like a
specifically.
lovable creature character who
Isn't
is
a robot,
central-
isn't an alien.
Yes, I mean could be an alien, but not like the same alien that you would see at like Roswell or something like that.
Yeah.
or imagine at Roswell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tweet to us. Let us know.
The plot to Gremlins is sort of the 3 rules, right? And like
Yes.
the characters are just kind of in the mix of what's happening. It's very clear what they need to do because based off the 3rd rule,
Right.
and like
Yeah.
everything is very set up, and there's no twists really. There's a couple of surprises.
I mean, the main
But-
conflict is just wondering if they'll manage to actually do something about
Yeah,
it. It's
how
not-
how is it even possible to kill all these gremlins?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
thought
would
like,
you-
oh well, they're all gonna die when it becomes daytime. But then I was also thinking like, no, they're probably all just gonna hide out somewhere.
Right.
They're gonna hide under porches and stuff, or
They're gonna hide out
inside
that-
things.
Hide out that movie theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
We were trying to in the first day we were trying to remember why they were all in the movie theater.
Yeah.
They were watching Snow
They
White.
just all wanted to
wanted
go
to
watch
watch
it.
Snow
Yeah,
White.
it wasn't like they got tricked in there. It was just like they were all like, "Oh, hey, good movie." All right.
I did absolutely love seeing all of them in the theater, throwing
Yes.
popcorn and getting ready
Just
for a
being-
movie, and then singing the song too, the Hi Ho song. I
Oh!
love that whole sequence.
so good. There were so many parts of this movie that were just so fun to watch. I was expecting it to be like just really cheesy, and
Oh, man,
this movie
yeah.
is so good. I really
It's
liked
one
it.
of my
There were
favorites of
parts
all
that
time.
were cheesy,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like, let's be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's also parts that come out of nowhere, like Phoebe Cage's speech. It's like a 5-minute thing that rambles on. And, like,
about her dad.
Yeah.
It kind of came at an inconvenient time.
yeah, they really needed to get stuff done at that point in the
I
movie.
still don't understand why that's even in this film.
Well, neither did Steven Spielberg, apparently.
It was the only thing that like gave her character any kind of weight.
Yeah,
or, like
I guess.
backstory.
I don't.
Otherwise, she's just cute, lovable, friendly neighbor girl.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg said that he didn't want that in the movie. He thought it was like
Joe
totally
Dante
unnecessary.
probably fought for it. Or
Oh,
Chris
he
Columbus
did.
probably
He did.
fought for it.
He said he was like, I am not making this movie without that scene in there. And then because Steven Spielberg had so much creative control, he had to like relent on a couple things, and that was one of them. He just decided that it was fine to keep in there.
It was great.
Which is probably also another reason why it caused the MPA to go to a PG-13 rating.
Yeah, because the music gets all like sad. And
Yeah.
she starts to really get into the thing and rambling on. And,
Yeah.
man.
As it was happening, I was like, wow, the transition into this conversation didn't make sense. But then, like, the conversation itself was fine. Like, the writing was fine. It just, it was forced at first.
It was Christmas Eve. I was 9 years old. Me and Mom were decorating the tree, waiting for Dad to come home from work. A couple hours went by. Dad wasn't home. Mom called the office. No answer. Christmas Day came and went, and still nothing. So the police began a search. 4 or 5 days went by. Neither one of us could eat or sleep. Everything was falling apart. It was snowing outside. The house was freezing, so I went to try to light up the fire. And that's when I noticed the smell. The firemen came and broke through the chimney top. And me and Mom were expecting them to pull out a dead cat or a bird. And instead, they pulled out my father. He was dressed in a Santa Claus suit. He'd been climbing down the chimney on Christmas Eve, his arms loaded with presents. He was going to surprise us. He slipped and broke his neck, died instantly. And that's how I found out there was no Santa Claus.
It'd probably be the reason for that actress to like take that role too. Was like, I want this scene to be in the movie.
Yeah.
I can really like finally do
Right.
something other than just be eye candy for Billy.
I think like the biggest like thing that I love about this movie is that they created a world, or they created like a small town.
Yeah, Kingston Falls.
Yeah, and I don't see that happening in a lot of movies anymore, where they
Yeah.
have like the drunk character who's not really relevant to the story, but he's just a guy in the town, or like the character who's everyone hates, who's a total jerk.
Yeah.
One movie that does that, and it's an amazing movie, is Tremors.
Yes.
Yes, and I have not
It's in the
seen
same-
that,
it's in
so
the same-
I would love. It's another reason why I should see it.
Yeah, it builds the world so well.
It is something.
World building is so important in movies.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it is harder in movies. I see a lot more in TV shows. Like even miniseries like Stranger Things establishes that town pretty well.
That's why those movies do well.
And it's like, but
You
in a
know where
movie, you
things
just
are.
you don't have the time to go through it. I think people aren't willing to take the time to establish it.
Sure.
They'd
That-
rather
that's
just
why
get
so many of the
everything else.
locations are L.A., New York,
Right.
L.A., L.A., New York, because like
Chicago, LA.
Toronto.
L.A. Because you don't have to establish those things because you're like, oh, that probably looks like that. It's like,
Yeah.
All shot
The
in Vancouver.
the world's built for
Yes,
you.
all of them were shot in Vancouver.
Yeah, but like world building is so important. Sometimes there's movies where it's just not going to happen or it's not relevant to the story.
Yeah.
But if you just have like a quaint movie or a romantic comedy, you can build a world around that, and you can build up very minor supporting characters.
Even a movie like Jeepers Creepers was able to kind of really establish, like, they go to the diner, and there's just, like, all the regulars in
Yeah.
the diner, like,
Yep.
what are you doing? And then
Have
there's
a
the crazy
moment like
farm
that.
lady, the crazy cat lady at the farm. It was
Yes.
Like, yeah, and then there's, like, all the cops running around. Like, I thought they did a very good job of kind of creating this rural Florida world.
it adds a lot of realism to your story
Mm-hmm.
when you do that.
And just watching a location that's snowy. Like, that's something that's rare in the world.
Right.
It's like getting something like, oh, snow exists in movies.
Was it all fake
That's
snow?
weird. I'm sure it was, because like you shoot all year and you add in
Yeah.
where you want it.
Oh, and actually, it's silly that I asked that because I read that it was shot. A lot of it was shot at Universal, and apparently it's the same set as Back to the Future.
Okay, I buy that.
Yeah.
You just rearrange that town a little bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same year too that those movies were shot. Right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
84?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they used like doubling up on locations used to save budgets on movies like that because you'd have the same just reuse different angles and redress the scene,
Exactly.
piggyback on it.
Yeah.
One minor thing that I absolutely loved is that like the family, like the main family, was just so like perfect in many ways. Like the dad was an inventor. He wasn't very good at it, but he loved doing it. And the mom was so supportive. And like there was never a moment where she was just like, "These goddamn inventions!" And it was like going crazy.
She tries to use the orange juice maker.
Yeah, it doesn't work as always, but she still keeps trying. It kind of, I liked it. I really liked
that's true.
moments like that.
I didn't think about that, but I think that's a really good point to make. Yeah, they were just like very comfortable with the way they
And
were.
she seemed very much like that kid's mom. Like,
Yeah.
she had the same sort of hair and sensibilities, and like, I can see that you would have raised a child in the exact same way that you did.
Yeah,
And then she destroyed 3 gremlins in the
she
kitchen.
she was a BA.
she
man.
rocked it, man. That was awesome.
Going up those stairs with that knife, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
The one thing that seemed weird about that sequence, though, so like Billy's at like the bank or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And school's
out.
about to get let out, and so the teacher is being attacked by the gremlin as school's let out, and then the mom's at home alone with these 3 gremlins. The timing like had to make sense because school's being let out, but like I wish that the gremlins attacked her at nighttime. Like it seemed a little off that like the whole scene, this kind of like scary scene was playing during like daytime with all the
Yeah.
lights on and everything.
Right.
It felt more like it felt like Batman during the daytime. It was like a Batman during the daytime situation.
You don't belong here.
You're like,
Exactly.
This just
Daytime.
looks goofy in
It
daytime.
does.
It needs to be dark. It needs to be raining. There needs to be smoky.
Exactly.
The gremlins in the Christmas tree. I forgot about.
It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot
Loved
about
it.
The gremlins in the Christmas tree. So many unique ways to like. They just made a list of okay, where can we put these gremlins? In a mailbox, in a Christmas tree, in a car, in a tractor, in a bar, in a movie theater. Let's get these gremlins places.
I still love the nonchalant way you were just like, so it's when they're getting crushed by the tractor.
Well, they totally got crushed by a tractor,
It's just so funny.
and it was in POV too. It looked kind of goofy, but I loved it.
I love it. Oh man.
And so apparently also with that kitchen scene, the original script had the mom getting her head cut off and thrown down
Yeah.
some stairs.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they cut that out of the
It's a
movie.
very different movie.
It was a totally different movie.
I like the mom. I'm glad she didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Wonder if the dad was in the picture, if he would have even like been a help, like what he was.
He'd have been like, "Don't worry, I'll
was really
invent something," and then
Yeah.
it would fail, and they'd get them all killed.
Right.
Yeah.
A flashlight. He
And
invents
they'd
the
be like,
flashlight.
and the mom would be like, "That's okay, dear."
I mean, it was almost as if like him going to the convention was almost a reason just to like get him out of the picture.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to like
Yeah.
hint at. It's
Yeah.
like, why did he
Like-
have the key to like solve the problem? or
Exactly. I was
something?
like,
don't know.
getting him out of the picture wouldn't really stop the gremlins from existing.
They're like, guys, if we have an inventor through this whole film, he's gonna have to be inventing stuff, and that's too hard.
Well, he's got the bathroom buddy. I mean, that's pretty good.
You're not wrong.
Well, I mean, if you go back and watch the tape,
You will find that it's not.
It's not great.
It's not 100%.
it's just as good as the smokeless ashtray. But so just jumping to the dad for a quick moment. I loved the shot when he was on the payphone in the middle of the convention
Yeah,
and all
that
those
robot.
robots were going around. It was like, I think the convention's a little bit too advanced. Like, I didn't realize it would be, this technological. And like really like dumb robots were just like rotating and moving around him.
I am batting above my average here.
Exactly.
I don't belong here.
Yeah. I mean, basically his invention is a brick that can do everything.
It's
like brush
it's a
your
Swiss
teeth.
Army knife, but
It's a Swiss Army
with
knife.
toothpaste and shaving cream.
Yeah.
A Swiss Army knife the size of a brick. Like, what could he have done if he wasn't at that convention? Would he have tried to use some of his, like... Would he have had,
His
like, a
gizmos?
product? Would he have had a gizmo?
Oh man.
Or a gadget? To get rid of the...
The Gremlins.
The
There's a lot of
Gremlins?
There's a lot of G words in this.
Yeah. The whole
Stuff,
movie
so-
is just G words.
Yeah, PG. Rated PG.
Nothing but a G thing.
Anything else? Are we
I don't
done?
think so. I
Are we
think
done?
that was pretty much all the notes I had.
Andy?
I mean, we've talked about how great it was, and that's all I need. That's all I came here for.
Are we going to go watch Gremlins 2 now?
I would love to.
I've
That's one of
I've
my
actually
favorite-
never seen it.
It's
so...
one of my favorite.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's one of my favorite sequels. It's one of my favorite sequels to a movie.
We should watch it. We'll watch it all together and let Brad take us on a trip through
Yeah.
Gremlins too.
Through your childhood.
I watched it a lot as a kid. I really like it.
You were what, like 6, 7?
Yeah.
When that came out?
We rented it from a video store and like watched it at like one of my cousin's birthday parties. It was pretty sweet.
Nice. That's awesome. Gremlins 2. Let's go do
We
it.
played Sega Genesis and watched Gremlins 2.
I mean, that sounds like an awesome 90s birthday
Went
party.
to,
It sounds
went to the
exactly
arcade,
like
play
that.
NBA Jam, and then we
Oh man,
went
at
back.
the arcade.
Yeah, it was like a cousin who was pretty loaded. Like,
Dang.
Yeah.
he had money.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
That party was the bomb. He had a Sega CD. He was like the first kid ever to have a Sega CD.
Did that not do very well, though? The Sega CD?
People wanted it. I think
true.
I think more people wanted it than had it.
Yeah.
That's
Because the Genesis like came out right before it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is the end of the Gremlins podcast.
That is.
where we talk another G word with Genesis.
About-
Oh
Yeah.
man. Or Game Gear. Get more Sega.
I did have
products
a, I
with
did have a
Gs.
Game Gear. And it was awesome.
Another GG. Join us on our next episode when we talk about The Fifth Element.
Every 5,000 years.
Remove the shield.
When the 3 planets are in eclipse, the black hole like a door is open. Evil comes, spreading terror and chaos.
There's nothing that can stop this.
There is only one thing.
Perfect.
The Mondachiwan have in their possession the only weapon to defeat evil. 4 elements, gathered around a 5th. They're here.
Hello.
Corbin, sweetheart. You got broken fingers, you can't punch my number?
Hi, Mom.
Welcome on. Have a nice day.
Major Dallas. You're selected for a mission of the utmost importance.
What mission?
Save the world.
Is everything solid?
Unbreakable.
Good. Order the stone.
I don't know. And even if I did know, I wouldn't tell somebody like you.
There's nowhere else to go.